In this review video, we're going to be looking at the Great War, or as we call it in the United States, World War I. The Great War is going to take place from 1914 to 1918, and for the purposes of this video, we're going to just look at the alliances, what started the war, and America's involvement in the war. Let's get started. Before the outbreak of war, Europe was divided into two main alliance systems. On one side stood the Allied powers, also known as the Triple Entente, including France, Russia, and the United Kingdom. Opposing them were the Central Powers, also known as the Triple Alliance, consisting of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. The event that ignited the flames of war was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary in Sarajevo on June 28, 1914, by a Bosnian Serb nationalist. Despite the escalating tensions in Europe, President Woodrow Wilson campaigned for re-election in 1916 with the slogan that he kept us out of war, reflecting his efforts to maintain American neutrality. Wilson urged Americans to remain impartial in the conflict engulfing Europe. He believed in the power of diplomacy to resolve international disputes. However, Germany's use of unrestricted submarine warfare, sinking merchant ships without warning, including the British passenger liner Lusitania in 1915, strained American neutrality. To add insult to injury, the interception and publication of the Zimmermann telegram in 1917, where Germany proposed an alliance with Mexico against the United States, further inflamed public opinion and pushed the United States towards war. In April 1917, the United States officially entered the war, deploying troops to support the Allies. Over 4 million Americans served in various capacities during this conflict. Among key victories the United States was involved in were the Battle of Cantigny, where American forces scored their first victory, and the Battle of Belleau Wood, where they earned a reputation for their resilience and bravery. But ultimately, probably the most famous or notorious battle the United States was involved in was the Battle of Argonne Forest, fought from September 26th to November 11th in 1918, marking the final major offensive of World War I. This resulted in the breaking of the German defensive line and paved the way for the armistice that ended the war. Notable figures emerged from this conflict in Europe, such as Sergeant Alvin York, whose heroism during the Meuse-Argonne offensive earned him the Medal of Honor for single-handedly capturing 132 German soldiers. His actions became legendary and inspired many. But there's also General John J. Pershing, who led the American Expeditionary Forces. Pershing was known for his strategic brilliance and determination. He skillfully coordinated American forces, playing a crucial role in the Allied victory. World War I also witnessed significant advancements in military technology, from the use of trench warfare to the introduction of tanks, airplanes, and unfortunately, chemical weapons, forever changing the nature of warfare. After the war, world leaders gathered at the Paris Peace Conference to negotiate terms of peace. President Wilson's vision for the post-war world was embodied in his goal of making the world safe for democracy, a principle he championed throughout the conflict. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, imposed harsh penalties on Germany, including the War Guilt Clause, where Germany had to take blame for starting the war. They also lost significant territory and were forced to demilitarize and pay war reparations, which will only make matters worse in the region in years to come. In an attempt to prevent future wars, the League of Nations was also established at the Treaty of Versailles, with the goal of promoting diplomacy and collective security among nations. However, the United States, even though this was the creation of Woodrow Wilson, would not become a member because the Republican-controlled Senate, led by Henry Cabot Lodge, voted the treaty down because in their estimation it would limit the constitutional war-making powers of Congress. While World War I left a legacy of devastation and loss, it also marked a turning point in history, shaping the world we live in today. Unfortunately, the failures of the Treaty of Versailles are going to lead to events that will spark World War II in just a few decades. That's all the time we have for today. If you liked the video, click below. Also, subscribe to our channel, and if you know someone who would benefit from this video, someone who's getting ready to take their end-of-year test, please share this with them so that we can help as many people as we possibly can. We'll see you next time.